Hello everyone. We are again back with the part 3 of the chapter number 9, physical and chemical changes, in which we are going to discuss about how can we prevent iron from getting rusted. Now there are certain methods by which we can prevent the iron being getting corroded. Now rust not only corrodes the surface but also weakens the metal, and when for a long time it has been exposed with the air and moisture, it causes iron to rust and sometimes making it holes in the iron object also. So when we just rub or struck this with a hard object, then it falls off. Okay, it falls like a flakes. So rusting is very harmful to buildings and structures which are being made, and so it needs to be prevented. Okay, window bars, the grills, and all the iron objects which are generally present in our house, they develop rust if we do not take care of. So rusting can be prevented by certain methods. These all methods we are going to discuss in this particular slide. So the first way by which we can prevent rusting is painting method. Now how does it work? The paint which is present, it stops the oxygen and water from coming in contact with the iron surface, and this is how it can be prevented by getting rusted. So where it is being used, it is used in the structures of cars and roofs which are being made. Even the grills or the railings which we have, they are being painted to avoid from rusting. Then the second method is oiling or greasing, in which again it protects the metal from corrosion by shutting out the air and moisture. And heavy machines are often being lubricated with oil to prevent them from rusting. So it is being used in machineries. Then we have the next method, electroplating, where a coating of a metal like tin or chromium is being given to iron, which stops the oxygen and water from reaching the iron, and it's mostly been used in cars and bike parts which are being made. Then the next process is galvanization, it can also be known as. So this process is when a coating of iron is being given with zinc. A coating of zinc is being applied on the iron, which stops the oxygen and water to reach to iron, and therefore the corrosion process does not take place. It is also again used for the protection of roof of the houses. And the last method is alloying. Now here alloying is a process where there is a combination of iron with chromium or nickel to make stainless steels, which also slows down the rusting process, and it is mostly used in kitchen trolleys, the kitchen surfaces which are being made. Now the next method, or this was all about the chemical changes. Now we'll move on to some physical changes. Now evaporation is a very well known process to you all, where already we have seen last year that wet clothes become dry when they are spread out on a clothesline in a sunny day. Why? Because the water which is present in the clothes gets evaporated when mixed with the air, and when we leave them in a dry region, and they leave, the water vapor gets evaporated and the clothes become dry. So this process of changing a liquid into vapor is known as evaporation. Now evaporation process is even being used for obtaining salt. Now this method is also used for to separate the salt which is dissolved in liquid. The process is largely used to obtain common salt from seawater. Now here the seawater is collected in shallow trenches which are being made, and this trench is being kept exposed to the sun. After some days, the water will get evaporated into the air as vapors, and only salt crystals are being left behind in the trenches. So this is how evaporation process helps in making salt. And then the last process, which is again a physical change, is crystallization method. Now crystallization method, now here crystals are pure solids which are form of a substance. They have a fixed repeating pattern of constituent particles. Now when a solution is heated gently, the amount of solvent in it gradually decreases. We have seen it in our 6th standard also, that when we have a certain amount of water being taken in a beaker, and we keep on adding crystals of salt or sugar into it, until a certain level it will dissolve the particles. Then we'll have to heat them up. After heating also it gets dissolved in the solvent, that is the water. But as it reaches to a certain level, it becomes a saturated solution where the solid particle stops dissolving in the liquid, and this is the time when crystals start forming inside the solvent. Okay, the excess salt or sugar particles from the solution crystallizes after cooling it. So this process of crystallization is very useful for obtaining or making big crystals. It is also useful for obtaining pure crystals from impure salt solution. So the salt which is being obtained by evaporation process is further being carried out or go through these processes to get a pure form. And even the formation of gemstones and snowflakes are some of the examples of crystal formation in nature. These are the natural crystals that are being found out. Okay, so this was all about the chapter. Thank you.